Hi everyone, welcome back to another installment of the World Simulator series of videos that I've been working on. That will be a video log of my progress building this engine. What you're seeing here currently is a low frames per second based on read pixels. The WebGL basically has a read pixels function for reading pixels from the frame buffer, and it is very slow. I'm finding that it's not going to be adequate for what I need. In order to process the physics, I'd have to do it once per frame, and that's basically not going to cut it unless I can do some predictive math. I'd have to see where the object was and where it is, and draw, vectors and find out if it crossed with another particle of another vector, which can be done. But I was trying to use a grid model where I can just very quickly find out if a particle hit another object based on a particular grid. And so if I don't use the grid model, then I might focus on some predictive stuff based on vectors and finding out what intersects with something else. But that's a lot of extra math for every object, testing to see what objects within a certain location, whether I use some kind of spatial tree based segmentation where I can just look at objects that are nearby. But still, that gets a little tricky to do in the GPU, because I'm not certain how in the GPU yet that I could send that kind of information, process it for each object, and then return adequate values to the CPU at the same time. It's still not certain how that might function, but I think what I might try to do instead is to work on the web workers. From some online benchmarks, I've seen that web workers might, in some cases, be better suited to the job of calculating what I need in multiple threads, because there's more information that I can pass to the workers using transferable objects, and then I can do it all within the CPU architecture itself without having to cross boundaries into the GPU and back again, which I know is what's causing this frame rate drop. Now, the GPU might be useful. I have actually seen it calculate going over hundreds of thousands of objects and comparing them with 100,000 other objects in quite an impressive speed. So it is possible to calculate gravitational forces between objects, perhaps every now and then, instead of every single frame, even just a few times a second, just to update the forces on the objects. So there might be a way to use the GPU for some periodic calculations. That might be too much. But then again, there's no reason why I couldn't just throw that into a bunch of other threads and do that as well. But I guess I'll have to just compare them and see. So I've already been working on the web worker side of things. So I'm actually in the middle of debugging and testing that process as well. So I think in the next installment I'll have more information on the web workers and see how they fare up against the GPU, and see if we can maybe go down that route instead. All right, thank you.